Hello. Sorry, I was having some problems. I feel like that's a pretty normal way to start my streams, though. Oh, sorry. I was not meaning to. Trying to stream on TikTok as well. Oh, I forgot to post my video today. Dang it. Oh well. I totally sliced my thumb open. I was trying to fix my toilet seat and I just sliced it open and it looks like it's getting infected. So I'm a little nervous about working with clay, but we're gonna do it anyway. And just clean it up really well afterwards. Okay, so I don't think it dried too much. It definitely firmed up a bit. But I think it's still pliable, which is nice. Also, it is light out, which is crazy. But, you know, that's what happens when the time changes. As much as I don't like the time change, it is nice to have some light in here and not have it just be dark, except for my setup lights. So it's kind of nice to have a different light source. Okay, so we left off last Tuesday. I feel like I should not have worn this dress. I wore this to work today, so I was just like, whatever, I'll keep it on. But because it's long sleeve, it's kind of in the way. I feel like it's kind of fitting, though, to wear this dress and make what I'm making, so. Okay, so we've got kind of this edge of the log. And that's all carved out already. I think it's firm enough that I can add the texture today. Oh wait, I totally got I got something from Hobby Lobby that I think will work great with this. Well, okay, I got some moss, so I'm gonna glue moss on afterwards. It smells really good. It says it's live moss, which is interesting. I'm not sure how that will work. I got some more glue. Got some lights to put throughout. I'm hoping that works well. Oh my gosh, this is just stupid. And then I found a wood grain silicone mold. So I want to see if I can use this on my clay. Like, I mean, it just felt so perfect, right? I went there, I don't remember what day, but went there like, I think it was Thursday, so not that long after having made, or having done my live stream and started this. So it's like perfect that I just so happened to come across that. I really shouldn't just pile stuff on my desk, but whatever. And this silicone mold was on sale for $2.50. So it's gonna make the texture way easier. The weird thing that I found though, this is a really stupid thing that I bought, but it was $1.50. They're these little sticky astronaut things, and you throw them at the wall, and apparently they like fall down, and it looks like they're climbing. It looks like it's 3D printed. Weird. But it's just a stupid thing. I was like, So I just threw it at my wall. Oh, it does actually look like it's climbing down. That's funny. It's gonna fall down though. Okay, we don't need to mess with that more. I bought that just because I'm weird, that's why. Anyway, let's open up the silicone mold and actually do what we're meant to be doing. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this exactly. I can't do it on the log that exists already, but I can test it on a piece of clay. But the question is, do I roll it out on top of the clay, or do I roll the clay on top of it? I'm thinking the former. So I'm just going to do a little piece for now to test it. I feel like it's a little bit of a problem where my light is coming from for my webcam. It'd be nice if I could actually face there, but I've had really bad luck with having a setup that way. It just makes it difficult to utilize both my desks. Okay, I'm gonna roll this out and then I'm gonna press the texture plate on top. Hello everybody. I feel like this might not work. I mean, I've used silicone to put texture into clay before, but I'm afraid it might stick too much. So let's see how this will work. Okay, it's sticking, that's good. Maybe I do want to just roll it onto it. Yeah. Okay, let's see. It works. It tore off some of it, but yay. Oh my gosh, that's gonna make my life so much easier. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this piece again. Except I think I'm gonna roll it out this way and make it thin. Yay. Because I'm gonna have to attach this almost kind of like a layer if I want it to not be too thick. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Whoa. Did not mean to do that. All right. I think I rolled it too thin this time. No, it's just gonna stick. I pressed too hard. All right, so some things to remember. Don't press too hard to get the texture imprinted. Sorry if you can hear that yelling, it's people outside. I might have just ruined everything. Dang it. I think I'm gonna have to let it dry now because it's all like sticky. I got a cut on my thumb and it's like right where it's the part of the thumb that I use the most, weirdly enough, like this side here. So I'm a little nervous that I'm gonna get a little bit of an infection there, but I'll just have to scrub it afterwards, even if it hurts. I'm not gonna be able to get all this out. Okay, I'm gonna pause on the texture. That's fine. I'll do that in a little bit once that dries. So instead, I'm gonna work on sculpting the top of the mushroom. So the idea here is that I'm gonna want to carve into this and open some things up so that it'll be kind of like this fairy house right here. So I can turn on a light inside of it and you'll be able to see the light. I need to change the battery on that one. That's the goal though, is that it'll be able to light up. Really should have trimmed my nails for this because I have to make pinch pot. So the cut on my hand hurts. Oh, no wonder it's kind of bleeding again. I should go put on a Band-Aid. I'll be right back. I am back. Okay, so I use weird Band-Aids. Not that it matters what kind of Band-Aids I use. But I started using these like hydrocolloid Band-Aids just because it was like a trend to use it on your face, you know, for acne. But I discovered they actually work way, way, way better. Like, I hardly ever have issues with healing anymore. So I highly recommend hydrocolloid Band-Aids for everybody. My husband had some horrible blisters on his feet, and I told him to put some on. And they were gone so fast. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use my finger. Maybe. Yeah, so it like looks almost like skin. I think I'll be able to still. I'm wondering if the clay will get under the Band-Aid though. We'll see. Anyway, back to what we were doing. I am sculpting a little mushroom top for this little fairy house here. Also, I should probably close this clay bag. It is super nice today. I feel like Tuesdays have been really nice outside, which is good because, you know, it's nice to have the nice weather, but it also kind of stinks because that's my streaming day. So I've missed the nice days the past like 3 weeks, which is kind of a bummer, but I choose to do this, you know. And I want to keep a consistent schedule, so here I am. Also, I'm thinking over spring break, which is not next week, but the week after. I think I might stream a few days that week. I want to kind of see if other days are better for like people watching, but I'm not sure. I feel like that looks like a good size. It's got some cracks in it, but I'm going to add the bottom of it and then we'll see from there. I have another mushroom house that I started last time too that ended up too big. Oh, there is some mold in this. Oh well. I don't think it affects air dry clay any differently and with real clay it's not a big deal at all, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm just going to score and slip it and attach it. And yes, I used a toothbrush. Sometimes I can't get it to scratch up enough. I think you have to use a stiff bristled brush to get it to work better. So if anyone ever makes stuff out of clay and wants a little trick to make scoring and slipping a little more efficient, that's my recommendation, is a stiff bristled toothbrush. I might even try streaming some wheel throwing over break, but I'm not sure how that's gonna work, just because my pottery wheel is out in my shed. I wonder if maybe after, oh, that's a good idea. After we replace our floors, I wonder if I could bring my wheel inside, because we have an extra bedroom. And I would never dream of it right now because we have carpet, but we're going to put in, I think, linoleum because it's cheap. So if we put in linoleum, though, I could totally bring in my wheel. I would just have to confirm with Josh that that's okay with him. So I did enclose the mushroom cap. Sorry for the noise. I closed the mushroom cap, but I will carve it back open because I want the light to go through it. I want the light to go all the way through. And I'm thinking about doing strands of light this time. But I don't know how I would do that exactly. Like, this is the one that I found. I would have to fit it in the base, which I probably could, but then I have to make it so that you can open it up. I guess I could make a base for the whole thing to stand up on. Or I can find a smaller alternative. This one I was not expecting to have such a big base. So now that this is an enclosed space, I can shape it pretty nicely. So I made it have an indent in the middle. So we've got the basic shape blocked out at least. I think I might just draw on where I want some things to go. I'm gonna make, I should make kind of like a stick going down as like the entrance, like the front path. Or what else could I make that's in a swampy area? Maybe I will just do a stick. What else could be in a swamp? I could just make some stones going down, but I want it to connect as a path. I just realized I should probably zoom in. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing on the Twitch stream. I should do a different camera angle maybe, but it's tough to find a good camera angle that isn't like in my face, making it so I can't actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so I think I am gonna do some stones. Oh, and then maybe I could make some sort of log going across that. I'm gonna put some moss on the tree, and then this will be water. I'm really excited for this. I'm gonna look up a picture. Yeah, I guess we could do another log kind of sticking up just a little bit. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I just looked up a picture. Well, I just looked up mossy log pictures. And I'm thinking that's gonna be... Oh, because I could make it bend up a little bit and have some moss kind of hanging off of it. That's a good idea. So kind of like... That's not at all what I meant, but... I have not been able to roll out coils. I don't understand why. It's funny because it's something my students always struggle with when they make coils. It like flattens on one side. I think I've just been pressing too hard. No, because I'm not pressing at all in here. It's doing it again. I bet it's because of my tray. There. That's too thin. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a mistake. I gotta roll it out again. I was gonna try to compress it to make it a little bit thicker again, but nope. That's not going to work. I still feel like that's too thick. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? So it got a little dry from rolling it out, so I'm just gonna try to add a little bit more water. That sounds weird. Sorry. That's weird. This definitely makes me miss wheel throwing, though. It's been a really long time since I've done that. Has it been a year? No, it's definitely not been a year. There's no way. Since last spring? No, because I definitely did some wheel throwing in the summer. Not that that makes it any better, because that's still almost a year away. Oh my goodness, we are... I can't remember the total, but... So almost 2 weeks until spring break, and then after spring break, it's 9 weeks until the end of the school year. So we're like 14 weeks away. 13? Something like that. That's crazy. But I can tell that the students and the other teachers are kind of ready for the break. I'm not sure if it would be better or worse if we had year-round school. Like, at least we would get more frequent breaks, and I think that would be nice, but would it even itself out, or would it still get to the point where we want a long, long break? Okay, so I could do this. Maybe a stone there. Alexa, skip. So I'm going to add some rocks under here. I'll still have to attach everything, but I can't really attach everything until I get the texture on. I just thought of that. So that's a bit of a problem. Maybe I shouldn't be making all these stones and stuff until I get that on, huh? I guess it doesn't hurt to let this stuff kind of firm up before I attach it, so. So excited for spring break. Although I can already tell that I'm sitting here like thinking about how relaxing it's going to be, but I'm already filling it up. So is it really going to be relaxing, or am I going to be wanting another break? I think it'll be fun no matter what, which that's the important part. All right, let's see if this works. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this a lot more before I roll it on top. The only problem is that this little tiny rolling pin that I use is not very good at getting like consistent consistent widths or depths, whatever. Thicknesses. Yeah. So I kind of have to like go a few different directions. I think that's thin enough. All right, I'm just gonna roll a little bit. I don't want to press it into the grain too much. And I didn't do it enough. That's okay. There we go. There we go. We got some wood grain. It's still kind of thick, but I'm hoping that once I attach it, it won't be too thick. So I'm making a fairy house in case you didn't know. And I found this at Hobby Lobby for $2.50. It was exactly what I needed. Now I don't need to hand etch all of the wood grain, but here's the added difficulty of fitting it together. I didn't think about that. That's gonna be a struggle. I guess I can cover any inconsistent areas with moss, so it's not a big deal. So now I just try to fit it around like a puzzle. But I can't like attach it yet. Because I need I got to score and slip before I can actually attach it. So this is definitely still tricky. But I mean it beats hand drawing every single piece of the wood grain, which I've done before, and it takes forever. Like this little one, this isn't really wood grain. I mean, there's some wood grain on the wood, but I hand did all of this grass. And so this little tiny fairy house took me probably 12 hours, maybe more, to make. And I can't justify spending that kind of time on stuff, especially because, you know, cost and price and charging my worth and all that. Oh. Now how did that happen? Okay, so I think I'm gonna cut it here and add on a piece there. Just to hopefully make it easier to not lose the wood grain. Alright, so now comes the difficult part. I gotta scratch the devil out of this. Instead of beat the devil out of it, like good old Bob Ross said, I guess technically, maybe I could have used the toothbrush to add the texture I needed, but I feel like it wouldn't end up, like, obvious enough, you know? Ooh, dang it. I stabbed the side of the stem of the mushroom. That's okay. I can fix it. So now I'm trying to get a lot of slip on there. This is where I should have a container of slip to help attach pieces, but I do not. So unfortunately, this is the best we have. And now we attach. Hopefully without ruining any of the texture, except I think I already did because of the slip that was on my hand. The question is, can we attach it without it cracking later on? That is the real puzzle here. Yeah, I can't press much harder than I am right now because it's definitely going to start. Losing the texture. I mean, really, as long as I seal the edges well. Does that look like log texture? I hope so. I mean, it better look like wood texture because that's literally what the silicone mat was for. Okay, so now we got to do the other side then. This little guy is going to be difficult, this little part that sticks off. Gotta move all these little stones out of the way. Let those kind of dry so that I can attach them. I keep trying to pick it up by the mushroom cap, but the mushroom cap is not attached. I just want it to firm up a little bit more before I can cut a hole into it so that light can pass through. So when I'm rolling out little slabs like this, I always move them because otherwise they get stuck and then they're super hard to get off. And then it kind of just ruins the slab that you rolled out, which means you have to bunch it back up again and then roll it out again, and that dries out the clay. Okay. Yeah, this is so much easier. It's kind of a pain to attach, but being able to just whip out some wood texture is so nice. So we're gonna do a little cut here so I can drape it. So do you want it to come a little more? I might have cut that too far that way. Okay, so this is the most difficult part, is shaping this piece, because right now it's like, it's really hard to tell where it's going to sit. In fact, I think I'm going to have to scoot it this way a little bit more. Ooh, that's perfect though. Oh, but it's not quite long enough. Could just roll out a new piece, but I don't think any of them will end up long enough. Ooh, I'm just gonna move that. It keeps falling off. I could also just trim the back of the log in. That is true. I'm just not wanting to extend it out because I'm gonna have to connect the texture, and that's gonna be a pain to do. All right, so now we refine the shape. And also cut it in a little bit so that it can overlap better. And I think that should be good. I'll just cut the bottom off a little bit. I think I just cut way too much off of this side. Oh well. It's gonna be right next to the water, so there can be stuff around it. Mistakes happen, and that is fine. Nothing wrong with mistakes. I will, however, have to add some more wood grain over here, but I might be able to just hand draw that part. Yeah, I kind of messed up this front part, but that's okay. It kind of fits perfectly still. So we've got a few cracks of like lacking texture. But like I said, I can just kind of patch up those areas, and it's still easier than me having hand drawn all of the texture. All right, now we shall make sludge. And by sludge, I mean slip. I'm hoping this will allow us to have a much better, like, raw edge of the bark. Because I'm doing it in sheets instead of just carving into a thick sheet of clay. Okay. Here we go. It's difficult because you have to add pressure to attach pieces together. But you can't add pressure if you want to keep the texture you're trying to put on top. So I'm hoping that it will hold, but I'm not really sure if it actually will. So we'll see in the next week or so. Well, I'm not going to finish this in the next week or so, so I guess we won't, because I'm not going to let it fully dry until I'm all the way done with it. But I would say, even without fixing the seams, it's actually not too off. Like, it kind of looks sort of normal. We've got some gaps and stuff, but I can fill that in. So I would say this went pretty well. You know what? I can carve from the top because... Or maybe I should let it sit first. Yeah, I'll let this harden up a little bit more. And then I'll carve it off. But I can... Maybe... Where are all of my tools? I had an entire set of tools and they're not there. I wonder if I took them out to my shed. Or if I used them somewhere else. Oh, I'm so silly. I think they're here. Yes. That's a really weird place for them to be. And one broke. Nice. It's okay, I can just super glue it. No one will ever know. Not even me, because I'll forget. Yes, these are my favorite ones, because this curved tool right here is the best for pressing in edges very, very carefully. Oh, it's starting to get darker. Oh, I wonder how the sunset looks. It's probably really pretty. I don't have blinds that allow me to peek, mainly because of, like, privacy. The place I live, I don't know. I don't really want people looking in my window. In general, I feel like that's a good rule of thumb. Not wanting people looking in your window. So there will definitely be moss right around the mushroom, which kind of makes sense. And then there will definitely be moss on a few of these edges that are weird. cutting tool go? I'm pretty sure I took that one out to my shed. Well, you know what? I could just use my X-Acto knife. Normally I would not, but some of this clay is much drier than others. And the clay that I used to make the log is a lot thicker. I think I'm going to carve it out a little bit to give more space on the inside for like lights or whatever else I might add later. I won't carve it right now, but once it's dried up quite a bit. It's kind of satisfying to cut clay with a X-Acto knife. Oh, I just realized you can't see what I'm doing for the stream. Did I squish it? Kind of. Okay. So now we need to figure out the texture for this part. I'm thinking I should still use the same method, just maybe much thinner. This is working better than I thought it would. I was kind of skeptical that this would work to add the texture, but it did. It worked wonderfully. So now, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Now we roll out the last bit of texture. And this needs to be thinner, which I think I achieved that. Oh my goodness. The question, is it going to come off? Wow, that actually worked better when it was that thin than before. It's actually a lot more than I needed. And it is indeed wide enough. Yay. So I like this little knot here on this texture, so I think I'm going to cut it up a little bit more. And I need it slightly angled so it'll wrap around right, so that it's kind of angled this way. And I can leave the extra to make it stick out a little bit more. In fact, I might even be able to carve this in right now. I feel like I'm being very quiet today compared to normal. It's understandable. I had some tough stuff happen at the school. I mean, granted, some of it was not directly to me or directly affecting me, but I teach art on a cart most of the day on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. So today I was on a cart, but I've been able to use something called the Makerspace in the school I work at on Tuesdays. And the Makerspace, the idea is that you make the space into whatever you need so that you can like collaborate and the students can work differently than they might in their classroom. So I work in there for one class and then I have prep and lunch. And so I just kind of chill in there working on prep for the rest of the day and beyond that. Well, today and other days actually, the same kid literally tears at the drywall in this little room off of the Makerspace. It's like a little isolation room. So the kid like starts freaking out pretty much every day from what I understand and just tears away at the actual drywall. Like he just tears apart the wall. I'm like, dude, who lets their kid do this, right? And then he's like cussing at the people that are working with him. Mind you, this kid is in maybe second grade. Maybe third. I don't know exactly, but it's so frustrating to see this stuff and to be a teacher and to know that it's kind of a common thing now for kids to be so disrespectful to their teachers and the paras and all of the staff at a school. It's really, really sad. And so it kind of just brought down my whole mood. I was already kind of having a rough day to start with anyway. So it just kind of bummed me out. I was really lucky that I got to kind of go out for lunch. Not like out to a place or anything, but I just went and sat in my car and ate my lunch. It was a nice little change of scenery after listening to that for like 40 minutes. Which is ridiculous again. 40 minutes of this kid acting like that. Luckily, they made him clean it up. So he had to like clean up all the drywall he pulled off the wall. But I don't think kids like that should be in school. I'm all for free education. In fact, I would want everyone to get free education, but when you get to that point where like he's literally damaging school property and not just like messing with pencils or whatever, he's genuinely tearing apart the building, that's a little too much. That's a little more than we as school staff should be expected to handle, you know? It's kind of ridiculous that people just kind of shrug and continue with allowing this stuff to happen. I felt so bad for the people that were actually working with the kid. Also, I don't think I would have had the patience to deal with it. But the one lady that came in after a while, she's less, she won't put up with students' crap. So she'll fully just say, I don't care if you tear that wall up, it's not my wall. Because he does it to get a reaction, right? He does it to get someone to do something. So she's just like, no, it's not my wall. I don't care. And honestly, sometimes you have to kind of react that way with it. But one of my kindergartners kind of went crazy today too, so it was just an interesting day. Apparently, though, I handle it well. Someone said that they appreciated that I remain calm in situations like that, and I was like, I mean, there's not much I can do other than remain calm and make it nice for the other kids at least. So they don't have to struggle. Anyway, I want to talk about something else now, something not about work. Oh, there's this mural. It's kind of work related, but there's this mural that me and some of the other art teachers are thinking about participating in the summer. We have to enter a design though. I think it's actually due soon, the design part. And I really, really want to do it. But I have like so many other projects going on right now, plus, you know, my actual work. So we'll have to see. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So this looks nice. I feel like this is going really well. Oh, my sunlight is going away. But it's only just now 7:15. I mean, it's already 7:15 is what I meant. So it's not that bad that the sun's going down. Yeah, this Band-Aid is not gonna stay. It's already falling off, which is understandable. It's dusty. And I just kicked up a bunch of dust into the air. That's good for my lungs. It is really satisfying to cut this clay with an X-Acto knife. It doesn't make any sounds. Like, I don't know if you've seen like the sand cutting ASMR videos. Oh my goodness. What do you mean you've detected inactivity? It did this to me last time. Maybe it's because I bet live is just like, you're moving too slow. I'm moving plenty fast, thank you. I am sculpting. Anyway. So, this clay is a little dry. I'm thinking we can at least add on the second log. I'm actually realizing I might want to do it like this. So I'm going to attach these rocks together. That way I can just kind of place them down together. Did my music stop? Yeah, that is not even the playlist that I was wanting to listen to. But I can't find the one that I had listened to a while ago. Wasn't it like... Ooh, what about this? I didn't bring my water in here. I have not been drinking water. Okay, this is not working. What the heck? There we go. So we're gonna put that there. Yeah, I like this music better. This is more of the vibe that we're doing right now. Like, it also almost reminds me of Robin Hood and Little John, the song that they sing. Okay, I'm gonna roll this in the texture. But first I gotta add some water. I just realized, oh my gosh. I feel like this piece is coming together really nicely compared to that other one that I made. I mean, granted, I'm not to the details yet, but part of the details are taken care of already, and I know the other part of the moss will be taken care of too, so it'll end up just being like... Dang it! I just threw that. It'll end up being like the door and the windows and like little things like that. So I just totally cut myself with my nail. My husband jokes about wrapping me in bubble wrap. That won't help if it's self-inflicted on accident and it's from like my nails or something. It definitely will not help with that. This is not helping very much. Man, it would be nice if I could start selling more art and just not have to be a teacher. I mean, okay, I do enjoy teaching, but I've been thinking lately maybe I want to do it in more of a non-traditional sense. So not teaching in a classroom per se, but instead teaching my own classes, you know, like having a studio and having a program for kids and adults. I mean, even teaching at the college level. It's just so hard to deal with kids in the way that they are currently. And I know that a lot of it is just because of like, I don't want to sound like one of those people, but it's because of technology. And I'm not saying I hate technology. Obviously, I don't. I'm live streaming on TikTok right now. But what I do hate is people that let technology babysit their children. Because then they don't get the developmental things that they need as growing human beings. They're depriving their kids of the boredom that they need. Like, you know, don't you just remember being just bored out of your mind and like sitting and trying to figure out what to do, and then you just start messing around with something, right? Like, I used to make paper dolls when I was a kid, not only because I didn't have a ton of toys or something like that, but it was because I was bored. And so I would take the scrap paper, the paper that my like dad would throw away after he was done, you know, reading mail and doing work and printing things out. I would take that and I would make stuff out of it. And I feel like people have lost that ability to find something to do when they're bored. And it's kind of sad. Especially because kids need that. Otherwise, they're not getting the real stimulation that they need. Not to go on a tangent about that, but it is a true thing that I think kids have lost. I used to babysit for this family. They had this like board. I know that sounds weird because I just repeated the same type of word twice, but it was like the board, as in I'm bored, B-O-R-E-D, board. So it had a list of stuff that the kids could do before they were allowed to get on their devices. And it was like, go outside, try to make a new type of food. What else? There was like, make something out of a piece of paper, play with Legos, like just some basic stuff. Read a book. do some chores, listen to music. And that one was like radio. But I can definitely see doing something like that with my kids when I have them. Which is not a thing right now, but eventually. So I'm kind of ruining some of this texture, but again, it's better than doing it all by hand. It's nice because I don't have to worry as much about air pockets as I do with my normal sculptures. So I won't have to worry about explosions as much. Oh, actually, I did have a student's project explode, which I do not understand because I was doing research a while back into why art projects or clay projects would explode. And it's almost pretty much always, almost always, it's because of trapped water inside of the art project. So it stands to reason if you let it dry long enough that it won't be an issue, right? Well, the projects that we fired had been sitting for weeks, like a month or two, maybe. So there's no way water was left in it. But then I was thinking about it. One of my students, I was helping them clean up, and I come over to the sink, and they put one of the clay projects into the sink when it was still like greenware. So it crumbles and falls apart because when it's greenware, you can recycle it. That's why it's called greenware. So they took a random person's project. Sorry, that was loud. Ugh. They took a random person's project and just thought it was a good idea to put it in the sink and turn on the water. I was so frustrated. I was like, is that yours? Why would you do that? They're like, no, it's not my project. Then why would you put it in the water? And he just goes, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? I was so mad. Like, if it's not yours, you shouldn't touch it. Right? It's that easy. So I know for a fact that I'm going to come across a student who's like, I definitely made that project. And I'm not going to know whose it was, really, because you couldn't tell because it was crumbled into nothing. So it's kind of sad. But there's really nothing I could have done. There's nowhere better to store the projects. There's no way to watch every kid. Okay. So I'm going to have to do some moss going there because there is a gap right now, so they can't really walk across. I know there aren't real fairies that are going to use this as a house, but I still want to make it look like it could be real, you know? Because that's what keeps the fantasy alive. Oh, I knew I recognized this song. It's from Pride and Prejudice. I hope it's not copyright then. I guess I shouldn't have pointed it out, huh? I mean, there's no one watching. There's one person watching on TikTok, it looks like. Or sorry, Twitch. Twitch, not TikTok. So right now, oh, that's way too thin. I'm trying to carve out the inside of the mushroom so that it's a little bit easier to carve the windows and stuff in next time. I'm gonna have to add some water to this so it doesn't dry, because especially the thinner pieces will definitely dry out. This is looking really nice. The bottom is really sturdy. Kind of don't want to put the top on the mushroom until after it's like way more dry, but it's gonna be tough, so might have to see what else I can do. Of course, it's the tool that I need to use that is falling off. I'll have to glue this once I'm done today. I think that'll end up looking nice. I just have to make sure I actually make the curves right. I have recently discovered, I think Animal Crossing is going to have to be my before bed routine. I know that sounds really funny, but I have played Animal Crossing a few times in the past week, and I was kind of away from it for a while. But every single time I've played Animal Crossing, I have fallen asleep or almost fallen asleep. So I don't know if I've just been extra tired and so I did, or if apparently it just puts me to sleep. Maybe it's the music, or maybe it's the repetitive activities that you do in Animal Crossing. But I just thought it was so funny. I'm afraid to stop with the mushroom part because I don't want it to dry out more. But at the same time, I'm very tired. And if I don't go to bed, then I'm not going to get enough sleep, and then I'm going to be grumpy tomorrow. You know, but I don't have anything to do tomorrow. I mean, I do. I've got plenty to do. But do I want to do those things? That's the real question. So I could work on this tomorrow, though, if I wanted to. I think I'm going to get off of the live for now, though, because it is after 7:30. So I think we'll call it there. It's looking really good. I'm getting really excited for this. I think I might even be able to finish in like just like maybe 2 hours. Maybe a little bit more. Because I do need to figure out the logistics of having lights. Maybe I'll swing by the store and see if I can find some with a smaller battery pack. But I'd say that was a pretty successful hour or so of my time. Got a lot done. It looks like a little mushroom house on top of a log. And that's what we were going for, so yay. I wish there was a side view for the Twitch stream. I tried to hook up my phone so that I could use my phone as a camera and have another view since the cats haven't been in the cat cam. But, oh well. I might try to potentially add my camera another time. I just don't know how to do it. I think it's because I'm using a Samsung phone and a Mac that it's not really working. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off for today, so thank you for joining me, and I will be live again on next Tuesday. So I'll see you then.